Okay, are all the devotees able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, fine, fine. Thank you, Prabhuji. So today we are starting with chapter 12, and this is the final chapter of Bhakti Yoga. So with this, we'll try to complete Bhakti Yoga, that is devotional service. This is the last chapter. Okay, and from 13 to the remaining 13 to 18 is Gnana through knowledge through bhakti through knowledge. Okay, so it will be that. So with this, bhakti yoga will be completed with chapter 12. Okay, and before we start the class, please let us take the blessings of the beautiful ladies of ISKCON Mangaluru, Sri Radha Govinda ji, Sri Radha Govinda ji ki jai. Okay, what is the synopsis of chapter 12? Okay, in earlier chapter we saw the universal form of Krishna, and Lord shows his universal form, Arjuna's attachment to personal two-handed form. So after seeing the universal form, Arjuna requests Krishna, please show me your two-handed form. So he gets attached to that personal two-handed form of Krishna. So that's why now in continuation with that devotional, that is why chapter 12 is devotional service. Arjuna, being attached to two-handed form, wants to clarify his position. So now, because Arjuna he's attached to the two-handed form of Krishna. So now we'll see in chapter 12. He asks Krishna whether that is the highest form, your personal two-handed form, because he is more attached to Krishna in his two-handed form. So he wants to clarify whether that is the highest way, the highest position or not. Okay. After hearing and seeing Lord's inestimable impersonal opulences, Arjuna again wants to hear about devotional service. So, after seeing the universal form and all the, after discussing about the opulences, everything, now Arjuna, he wants to hear about devotional service. That is why this chapter 12 is, it talks about devotional service. To clarify his position as a devotee who works for Krishna as opposed to a gnani who renounces worth. To clarify his position as being attached to the personal form of Krishna as superior to the universal form or the unmanifested Brahman. So he wants to clarify whether the impersonal form is better or the personal form of Krishna is better. Which form of worship is better? Okay, so let's see what see 12.1 to 12.7 we'll see bhakti over impersonalism, and 8 to 12 we'll see the progressive stages of devotion from highest to lowest, and 13 to 20 we'll see qualities that endear one to Krishna. What are the qualities that Krishna likes to have in his devotees? Okay, 12.1 Arjuna Uvacha Evam Satatayukta Ye Bhaktastvam Paryupasate Ye Chapi Aksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna inquired, which is considered to be more perfect, those who are properly engaged in your devotional service or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. So, the impersonal manifestation, either in this material world or in the spiritual world of the Supreme Lord, is a problem for meditation. Okay, so let's see what they are trying to say. Okay, so which is now Arjuna is asking which is better, personalism or impersonalism? So personalism means what? The person, Krishna as a person, Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead in his two-handed form. That is better, or the impersonal Brahman means which has no form. He is impersonal, no form, right? That Brahman, that is better, or with a personal form is better. So two classes of transcendentalists. Personalist engages himself with all energy in service of Supreme Lord And impersonalist, he engages in meditation on impersonal Brahman, that is the unmanifested. The unmanifested means it has no shape, like you can't see it, right? Okay, conclusion of every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now, Krishna, we have seen in all the subsequent chapters what he always concludes is you get attached to the personal form of the Lord. Okay, see in living entity is in chapter 2. What does Krishna say? Living entity is spiritual spark. Absolute truth is spiritual whole. Okay. And in chapter 6, 6.47, Krishna says Bhakti Yoga is the best of all yogis. Okay, Bhakti Yogi is the best of all yogis. Right, he shows, he talks about Gnana Yogi, Gnana, Karma, and Ashtanga. And out of all these, he says that Bhakti Yoga is the best of all. And in chapter 7 also he says living entity is part and parcel of the whole, recommends one to transfer his full attention to the whole, that is to Krishna. 8. Anyone who thinks of Krishna at the time of death at once goes to the spiritual sky, to the abode of Krishna. Okay. So the only way to have association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is through devotional service. So this Krishna, he again and again he confirmed in chapter 2, chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8. In all the chapters he says that worshipping the personal form of the Lord is the best way. Okay. See in 6.47 he says, see, yoginam api sarvesham madgatinam charatmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. And of all the yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Okay. Okay. 12.2. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshya Mano Ye Maham Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Paryupetas Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Blessed Lord said, he whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, is considered by me to be most perfect. Okay. So Lord Krishna's opinion is saying those engaged in devotional service are most perfect. Why perfect? Because they're always engaged in worshipping me. They fix their minds on my personal form and they worship me with great and transcendental faith. Okay, so actions in Krishna consciousness. KC activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. Because any Krishna conscious activity, any activity that you're doing for Krishna, it cannot be material. Okay, so KC activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. It is akarma. If you do anything for your sense gratification, that you get either good or bad karma. But if you do any action to please Krishna, if you give the results to Krishna, it becomes akarma. Okay, it is no longer material, it is spiritual. A pure devotee is in full samadhi because of his constant engagement. Example, he chants, hears, cooks, shops, washes, temple or dishes, etc. So does not waste a single moment. So a pure devotee, he's like in full samadhi, like he's always meditating on how to please Krishna by doing any one of the activities for Krishna, by either chanting, reading, hearing, cooking, temple cleaning, or cleaning the dishes, or prasadam distribution, book distribution. Like he does not waste a single moment. He's always busy with some Krishna conscious activity. So that's why Krishna is saying, in my opinion, those engaged in devotional service are most perfect. Because why most perfect? Because of these three things that Krishna is saying. Because they're totally their mind, see, they fix their minds on my personal form. They worship me with great transcendental faith, always engaged in worshipping me. So 24 hours they think nothing about but how to please Krishna. They engage in activities related to Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious person does all his actions in full samadhi. Okay, 3 to 4. Okay, but those who fully worship the unmanifested means they're talking about the impersonal Brahman, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all pervading, inconceivable, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. See, they're talking about the impersonal, I mean, Gnana Yogi they're talking about. So, what are the characteristics of impersonal conception of absolute truth is? See, he's unmanifested. So, you can't see, right? He's like energy. The impersonal Brahman is like unmanifested. You can't see beyond sense perception because we can't see with our senses, right? Beyond sense perception. He's all pervading because they see that spiritual, what do you say? In everybody they see. I mean, like wherever they see, I mean, like they try to see the absolute truth in everybody. Okay, and throughout the whole material world. So he is all pervading. So the absolute truth is all pervading, inconceivable. So it's very hard for us to, I mean, like inconceivable is very difficult for us to meditate on. Inconceivable means how to say, see how long can we meditate on something on light or energy, right? So it's inconceivable, it's very difficult. So it's unchanging. Why unchanging? The absolute truth is impersonal Brahman is unchanging. See, for us, because we have a body, we change like from young or young to old, like that. But impersonal Brahman is like spiritual. He's transcendental. He never changes. He's unchanging. So he's fixed. Okay, he is immovable. Right? We can. What is this immovable? I don't know. Let me just check 1 second. Okay, so here they're saying fixed and immovable means because it is beyond, yeah, that's what we were thinking, right? It's unchanging. It's beyond material change. That is why it is fixed. See, it can never change. It is immovable. Okay, it is beyond material change. Okay, so that is the only thing. See, in material, if you see, everything is change, it changes. But here it is fixed. I mean, the absolute truth, the impersonal Brahman is fixed and it is immovable because it is not material. Okay. Okay. Okay, so these are the characteristics of impersonal Brahman. Then, how to worship the unmanifested? So, what is the process to worship the impersonal Brahman? by controlling the various senses. See, already we discussed in the previous things. First, these people they study the Vedas, Upanishads, and they come to they're basically knowledge based. So they understand that they're the soul, right? And then what do? They control the various senses by force. They control all their senses, not by engaging them, giving the engage in a positive way. So they control the senses by saying forcefully control. They say no, 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 I should not see this. No, 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 I should not eat this. No, 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 I should not hear this. So by forcefully, by controlling various senses, that is one process they do. Then by being equally disposed to everybody. So why are they equally disposed to everybody? Because now they have the knowledge that they don't see everybody in the concept of body. They understand that everybody is soul. And what is the equality of the soul? It is Satchidananda. It is like equal. Everybody, on the platform of soul, everybody is equal. Maybe on the bodily platform, they may vary depending on the body. One may have the body of the Brahmana, one may have the body of a dog, elephant, like that. Bodily, they don't see on the bodily platform. They see on the soul platform. That is why they are equally disposed to everybody. Okay, they respect everyone equally. Next, by engaging in welfare of all, since they see everybody on the platform of soul, they are, they are ready to help everybody. So they engage in welfare for all. And difficult for any common man. So this Gnana Yoga is very difficult for a common man. Much penance is involved. So like meditation is involved and all that is involved, right? Is involved before the ultimate realization of full surrender takes place. So there's so much of meditation involved, and you have to control your senses. By force, and you have to read the Vedas and the Upanishads. You have to understand the Sanskrit. So all this is like very tedious and not practical for Kali Yuga. So that is why Krishna or Prabhupada they say that we have to take to devotional service, which is practical and easy. So it's so easy that you just have to chant, read, hear, do devotional service to Krishna. That's all. Right? Just put your mind on Krishna. Okay. 12.5 क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Okay. See, path of impersonalists is troublesome and very difficult. So two groups of transcendentalists are there, right? Both ultimately, see, actually, and both lead to the same thing. So one is bhakti yogis, those persons who are in full Krishna consciousness and engage in devotional service to the Lord. And next is Gnana yogis. So two groups, one is bhakti yogi and one is Gnana yogi. Right? Yogis are, they do devotional service and they go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So they worship the personal form of Krishna. So Gnana yogis, they worship the impersonal Brahman, right? The impersonal form of Krishna, and they want to merge into the impersonal Brahman. So those who follow the path of inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so here transcendentalists are of two types: Gnana yogis and Bhakti yogis. Gnana yogis follow the path of inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. Bhakti yogis are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord. Though the goal of both is the same, Gnana yoga is troublesome. So understand one thing, that both lead us to Krishna in one way or the other form. Maybe in different stages. The first stage is like impersonal Brahman, second stage is Paramatma, third stage is Bhagavan Krishna himself. But like all are a part of Krishna, right? So they reach us to Krishna, but Krishna says that Gnana Yoga is troublesome, especially not possible in Kali Yuga. So Bhakti Yoga is direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind. Okay, so because Bhakti yogis, they accept the deity of Krishna because we assume that there is some body. I mean, like we worship the deity because we have some shape, some body of Krishna in our mind, right? So that's why we worship the deity of Krishna as Krishna himself. However, the worship of the Lord in the temple is not idol worship. Okay, it's not idol worship. The worship, many people, other states or countries, they think that the deities are just idols. They think that the idols that are there on the roads, you see, right, of great people, where the crows come and pass their stool and everything, and nobody takes care. In the sunshine it is there, in the rain it falls, and all dust and everything. Nobody takes care of those, so they are called idols. But the deities, what we worship in the temple, they are called deities. We take personal care of them like a small child is taken care of, right? The deities in the temple. We do everything, right from the time of waking them up, bathing them, dressing them, putting ornaments, offering boga, everything like is taken care, like a small child is taken care of, right? So that is deity worship, it is not idol worship. As in the Vedic literature, worship may be saguna or nirguna. Okay, saguna means with form, personal form. Nirguna means no form. Of the supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, that is personal form. For the Lord is represented by material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil or paint. Because the deities are generally in the form, I mean, like made up of stone, wood, or oil, paint, or something, all these things, right? So it is called saguna worship because it has some form. Okay, some material qualities it has, but in the form of the Lord, these material these materials are not actually material. That is the absolute nature of supreme Lord. But we should not think that when the deity is made up of stone, wood, we should not think that it is material. I mean, like it is now just stone or it is just marble or that. Now it is not stone or something, it is the deity himself, it is Krishna himself. Okay, we should not take it on the material platform. Okay, it has become Krishna, we have used that, and we have invoked Krishna, so it is personally Krishna present as a deity over there, right? But in the form, see, but in the form of the Lord, these materials are not actually material. That is the absolute nature of Supreme Lord. Analogy, the mailboxes, authorized and unauthorized. See, analogy they're giving, like how, see, if you have a mailbox, generally, I mean, I don't know whether they're using the mailboxes now or not, I'm not sure, because I've not used any, I mean, I'm not using. But the mailboxes generally we have on the roads in a designated way. You have red mailboxes where you can drop your letters in that mailbox, right? And those letters are collected by the postman and they are taken to the main post office. And from the main post office, they are sent to wherever they have to be sent. If it is authorized only, see, if that red post box is that place. I mean, like you can put any red post box, and if you drop the letter in that, it won't go. I mean, like the postman won't come. So the postman, only if it is authorized, if that red box is authorized by the post office, then only we can drop it in that red post box, and then it will be taken collected by the post office, right? If it is unauthorized, he won't collect it. If you put wherever you want, if you just create your own red post box and you put it in front of your house and you drop the letter in that, it is unauthorized, right? The postman won't come to your front of your gate and he won't come and take the letter, right? So it should be authorized. So like that, the deity in the temple is authorized. Okay, that is what they're comparing. Okay, so we should not think that the deity is an idol or something. It is authorized. We have personally invoked Lord Krishna, and Krishna is personally there. He is present there. It's no longer material. It's no longer stone or marble or whatever it is. Okay, so God also has. Sorry. Okay. God also has an authorized representation in the deity form called Archa Vigraha. Okay, so he's called Archa Vigraha, an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form from the man in conditioned life. Okay, through the Archa Vigraha, the Lord accepts service from all of us. Okay, so for a devotee, there's no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly simply by the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, hearing the glories of the Lord, and by eating the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the Lord. Okay, so for a devotee, there's no problem in approaching the Supreme because he's always engaged in service of Krishna. He's either chanting, reading, hearing, eating the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the Lord. Okay, yeah, he's doing everything related to Krishna. So it's not a problem for him. He's sure to go back to Goloka. Path of persons, but path of the persons worshipping the impersonal Brahman is troublesome with no guarantee. But people see here, they're saying that people who are practicing the impersonal Brahman, their path is troublesome, and there is no guarantee that they will realize the absolute truth. Okay, there's no guarantee because there are chances that they will fall down and come back to the material world. Because how long can you meditate on light or personal Brahma? I mean, like space or energy, or how long can you just float in that air? I mean, like in that space. I mean, initially flying in space may sound wonderful, right? But how long can you just fly in that space? There is like it is. I mean, like you will be eternal in that space. But what is the use? Like there is no ananda. There is nobody over there. You become one with space, and you can't. You lose your individuality. So it's like boring over there. Initially, it may seem nice floating in space, but later you get bored, right? So that's when there is a chance that you may fall down. I mean, like you come back to the material world. So that there's no guarantee that you will realize the absolute truth. I mean, you stay there permanently, right? Because you get bored, you may fall down and come back to the material world. So they take the trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, and spends whole life in that way. Okay, so that's why their path is not safe. But for a personalist who worships who does devotional service, for him it is guaranteed that they will go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, just by doing devotional service. But for an impersonalist, it is not sure. There is always a chance that they may fall down and come back to the material world, where they will continue the social activities like taking up, making hospitals and mm, building educational institutions or doing some social activities like that. Okay. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said the ultimate surrenderance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhakti. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said it is. I mean, like you have to surrender to the personal form of Godhead through Bhakti. Okay, a living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he may accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledge aspects of his original nature, Chit. But the blissful portion is not realized. So what they are saying, in this impersonal Brahman, you may realize the Sat aspect. That is, you can be eternal. You can even get knowledge, Chit aspect, but you will not get Ananda. Okay, Ananda part you can't get, because what is the use when there is, I mean, like in space, what Ananda can you get? There's no Ananda, right? See, here also in the room, if you just sit, just light is there, nothing is there in the room. How long can you, I mean, is there any enjoyment? No enjoyment, right? So you may have Sat aspect, Chit aspect, but bliss, Ananda is not there. But by the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. But he is not able to give up his long practice in impersonalism. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty when with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. So one should not take up this process. So Krishna consciousness in devotional service is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond our approach of senses, as already expressed in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Lord Krishna. Okay, so we know that Jnana Yoga is very impractical compared to Bhakti Yoga, which is very easy. See, chanting we can do anytime, anywhere, anyhow, right? We can happily at our home only, we can sit and read the books, we can hear nice devotional speeches, right? So everything we can do practically from our home in Bhakti Yoga, right? So it's very easy. So here we see the difference between impersonalists and personalists. Okay, so impersonalists they meditate on formless. Okay, they meditate on personalists, they meditate on the deity. And second, unmanifested is beyond the senses. You can't see. Okay, senses can perceive the deity and sound of the mantra. So we can see the deity and we can hear the mantra. So most understand the Brahman through Upanishads. So these, we said, right, these Jnana yogis, they understand Brahman through the Vedas and the Upanishads. So they have to learn the Sanskrit. They have to understand all those mantra meanings and everything. Okay, and here they understand Krishna through devotional service, which is simple chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master and following regulative principles, and by offering obeisances unto the deity, hearing the glories of Lord, and eating the remnants of foodstuff offered to the Lord. Okay, so long practice makes it difficult to take up bhakti. See, this practicing Gnana yoga, it takes a long time, and after many janmas, then you come to bhakti, to the platform of bhakti, right? And this is completely natural taking up, because you are engaging all your senses naturally in the service of Krishna. So there's nothing artificial in this. Okay, so this is troublesome. Why it is troublesome? Because there's no relation with the Lord. Okay, so that's why, see, how long can you meditate on light? So it's very difficult, and there is no physical form or personal form of the Lord. So it's very troublesome. So misery is mitigated by relationship with Krishna, because we have Krishna, right, who is a personal form. So we have no miseries because we are in a relationship with Krishna. And here they depend on their own endeavor. So they have no guru, right? They depend on their own endeavor. They read by themselves and they come to their own understanding. So that's why they create their own philosophy of entering into the impersonal Brahman. Okay, so Krishna delivers devotees from Maya. So there they depend on their own endeavor. Here we depend on the mercy of Krishna and Guru. Okay, why? Because Krishna himself recommends the process, and out of paternal love and by his causeless mercy. So Krishna delivers, Krishna, and by mercy of Guru and the devotees, we are delivered. Okay, this is comparison between Bhagavan and Brahman. Okay, Bhagavan means personal form, Brahman means impersonal form. Okay, so Brahman means nirguna, no form, without no, so without, if no form, no qualities, right? Saguna means with, he has a personal form. So if you have a form, you have qualities also. Inconceivable. Okay, mm, we can't see, inconceivable means, and here possess inconceivable potencies. So potencies, I mean, like, if we can't imagine, like what, like he, I mean, like possess inconceivable potencies means Krishna, he holds all the planets in their orbits, right? It is so difficult. We say that all the planets are staying in their orbits because of gravitational force, right? But it is because of Krishna holding all of them in a particular way, that they are able to rotate in their orbit, they are able to stay exactly. Otherwise, if here and there one or the other planet collides, we can imagine what happens, right? So, so that is the inconceivable potency of Krishna. And Brahman is all pervading. right? They see that spiritual energy is present in everybody. Okay, it's all pervading throughout the whole material world, all pervading by energy as super soul. So we know that Krishna is present in the not present directly, but he is present through his energies, right? Like that, and cannot perceive any opulence because of lack of activity. No opulences, and Krishna is full in opulences because he has a form. So that's why we can see his opulences. He's full in beauty, he's full in strength, he's full in renunciation. But since in impersonal Brahma there's no form itself, there is no opulence at all, right? Risk of not realizing absolute truth at the end. So there is a chance that they may fall down, and there is a chance that they cannot realize the absolute truth, right? So that risk is there here. But here, success is guaranteed as nothing is lost. So many realize the eternal and knowledge aspect. So here in Brahman, you can just realize only the Sat and Chit aspect. Sat means what? Eternally. Eternal, they can stay eternally there, and they have that knowledge. Knowledge is also there, but that Ananda part is not there. Okay, what Ananda can you get in space, right? There's no Ananda. But here we have Sat plus Chit plus Ananda. Why? Because in Ananda means why do we get Ananda? Because we have a relationship with Krishna. We have a relationship either in as a parent, or when we go to Golok Vrindavan, we have any we don't know what relationship, but we'll definitely have a relationship with Krishna, right? As a tree, or as a cow, or as a mother, as a father, or as a gopa, as a gopi. We don't know. As grass or a tree, we don't know, right? So that relation gives us bliss. Because we are able to serve Krishna either being a tree or a peacock or a cow or whatever. Okay, so we have all the three aspects over there. Okay, 12.67. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषाम् अहं समुद्धार्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्था मय्यवेशित चेतसाम. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So, in pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord. And if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. See, that is the reason we are here in this material world, right? We rejected Krishna in the spiritual world, and we came here with the intention that we wanted to enjoy independent of Krishna, right? We thought everything in this material world is for my enjoyment. But we understood that when we are getting attached to the results of our work, we either have good or bad karma, for which we have to come back to this material world and suffer or enjoy those reactions. Okay, so that is when we come to the understanding that, like, we are actually souls, we are not this body. And what is the constitutional position of the soul? Is to serve the Supreme, is to serve the super soul. So we are like eternal servants of Krishna. We were created by Krishna to serve him. So we get happiness only when we do that. Okay, the Supreme Lord can be pleased only by devotional service. All work of any kind must be done for Krishna. So any work that you do must be related to Krishna. It must be dovetailed to Krishna. See, you're cooking, do cook for Krishna. Okay, you're working, whatever income that you get, you use it for Krishna service. So whatever you're doing, just do it for Krishna. A devotee sacrifices everything for the Supreme Lord. like Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. See, actually, Arjuna, he didn't want to fight because being a devotee, he was very compassionate. But he didn't want to disobey Krishna. That's what finally in the end he says, right? He says, like, Krishna, I agree to whatever you say. I will do what you say. Right? Finally, he says, even though he doesn't like, but he still agrees to fight just because I mean, like he wants to please Krishna. Okay, so a devotee sacrifice everything for the Supreme Lord, like Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. While performing one occupation, one can simultaneously engage in chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. It is that simple. See, we don't have to, what do you say, do tyaga or something. See, if doing our daily activities, side by side, we are doing all these activities. Aren't we doing? See, daily we have to perform our jobs, or we have to go to the job. Housewives have to cook at home, take care of the children. So, besides doing that itself, we are chanting, we are reading, we are hearing, and if time permits, we are doing some devotional activities, service activities, right? So, it is so simple. It is not at all like complicated. The Supreme Lord promises that he will instantly deliver such a pure devotee from the ocean of material existence. In the Varaha Purana, this verse appears. Okay, the purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely taken, is cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. The Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once, riding on His bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. See, if you just surrender yourself to Krishna, it is His responsibility now as a father to take care of us. See, like how, see, when a child comes into this material world, does the child go to the father and say, oh, father, please give me food. Father, please pay my fees. Father, please buy me shoes. Does he have to ask all that? Automatically the father, he provides everything, right? Like that, if we take surrender, if we completely surrender ourselves to Krishna, and we just like do devotional service to Krishna as a father, like he takes care of us. We don't have to separately do something, ask or do something. It is now Krishna has become our father. It is his duty. He completely takes care of us. He delivers us from this material world, and he takes back to his loka. He takes us back to his loka. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued, provided he is constantly engaged in devotional service to the Lord. Okay. See, how much ever expert a swimmer he may be, sometimes like it is very hard for him to continue and continue swimming, and it's very difficult. But if someone comes and gives him a hand and pulls him into a boat and saves him from the water, then that is very easy, right? Then he is easily rescued. The same way, if we are also constantly engaged in devotional service to the Lord, it's like we are under the shelter or protection of Krishna. Okay, so an intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. One should not engage in different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by mental speculation. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from any other yogic processes, speculation or rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. See, if you do devotional service, all are included, right? All this is included. What if you want to do any rituals, karma kandi, sacrifices, charities, all this is inclusive. If you just do devotional service, it includes everything. It is like watering the root. So if you water the root, the whole tree is nourished. So like that, if you do devotional service, Like you are, like automatically doing sacrifices, charities, rituals, everything is covered. You don't have to do specific rituals or sacrifices or charities again. Okay, so simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. So see, in Bhakti Yoga, it is so easy. Just by chanting this mantra, you can go back to Krishna. So in no other process you will see it is so easy. Okay, it's not, it will take some janmas, but finally they have to come to Bhakti Yoga. See, from Gnana Yoga, you have to become after many births, after you attain perfection, then you have to become a Ashtanga Yogi, and after Ashtanga Yogi, then you have to do, many births you do meditation to attain perfection, then you have to get realization, then you realize that Paramatma is a person, and you try to develop a relationship, and then out of that relationship you understand, yeah, when you come in touch with the devotee after many janmas again, then you understand that Krishna is a person, and then you start doing loving devotional service. So it is like a long process, but finally you have to come to Bhakti Yoga. Why do you want to waste your time so much when you know that you have to, in the end, anyway you have to take up Bhakti Yoga? So why not take up directly Bhakti Yoga itself, right? So Krishna thus concludes in the last chapter, 18.66, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. One should give up all process of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness that will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. That is the highest perfection of life. One should not make futile efforts to deliver himself without surrendering to the Lord. So, simple thing, just take up to Krishna consciousness, surrender yourself to Krishna, and leave the rest to Krishna. It is his duty to take you out of this material world and take you back to him. Okay, so that's the highest perfection of life. So 12.8. So this is important. Okay, see, from now, the Krishna, he tells the different levels of different processes of bhakti, different stages, in fact. Okay, so the first stage in 12.8, we are talking about Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means what? Pure devotional service. So we all have to one day come to this stage. Okay, the pure devotional stage, like we see the Vrajavasis, right? They have instant bhakti for Krishna. They don't take a chanting bag like us and they chant, or they don't read Prabhupada books, or they don't hear the Vaishnava speeches like us. Like they're born with that bhakti, right? Right from the time they get up in the morning, they start with the singing about Krishna. The day starts with talking about Krishna, praising Krishna, singing songs about Krishna, bhajans about Krishna, and they're so happy. The Vrajavasis, they look like, they don't look like rich people, right? They're like middle class people, average, below, right? But when you go to Vrindavan, it is said that those people, they themselves are poor. They serve the devotees who come in Vrindavan, chapatis, whatever they say, chapatis or dal or curry, whatever they make. They're so happy when some of the devotees come there to their place. They nicely make all these chapatis or whatever they have, right? And they give it to all the devotees. The devotees say they're surprised, like how many ever devotees come, they look so poor, but they happily serve so many chapatis to how many ever devotees come, and how many ever they want, they give it seems. See, that is a Vrajavasi. Like they're full, in devotion to Krishna. They don't bother about themselves, whether they have eaten or not. They give everything to the devotees. It is said that when you go to Vrindavan, you should not eat in the outside hotels or restaurants or wherever. They say you should go to the Brajavasi and you should eat from their hands, because they have so much bhakti in them. Even while sweeping the house, they'll be singing bhajans, they'll be thinking about Krishna. Whatever they're doing, they'll be thinking about Krishna, because they're born with that bhakti of Krishna, pure love of Krishna. Okay, so you see, right, Deepi, in the photo, you see the Gopas, they are also always constantly meditating on Krishna. See, right from morning, they are with the morning till evening, the Gopas are with Krishna. So they, I mean, like, they are waiting in the morning. They'll see that when it will become morning, and they stand in front of the house of Krishna. In Brahma Muhurta itself, they will go and wait when will Krishna, but they don't disturb Krishna because they want Krishna to sleep. They patiently wait, right? They wait outside the house of Nanda Baba without disturbing Krishna. Now, when Krishna comes, they all go to the forest, they play, they joke, they imitate, they eat over there with Krishna, they dance, they fight, they wrestle, they joke, right? And then, as all of you know, that every, I mean, like what, a pastime compulsory has to happen. A demon comes there, and Krishna kills that demon. And then, when after the demon is killed, they eat. I mean, they start eating their lunch. And in the lunch also, they'll be discussing, oh, how Krishna, he killed the demon, he did this, like this. They'll be discussing. And then after everything is over, again on the way, they'll be going back, they'll be discussing about Krishna's pastimes. And then after going home, I mean, like they feel so much, what do you say, separation from Krishna, because now Krishna will be going to their home in the evening. They'll be separated from Krishna. So they'll be praying, I mean, like, oh, when will it be morning again? Now, why has this night to come again? They'll be thinking, meditating like that. And then after going home, again they meet their parents, right? And talking, I mean, there also they talk about Krishna. You know, ma, what happened today? Krishna killed this demon. He killed this demon like this, like this, like this. They'll be talking about Krishna only again. So the whole day and night, once, I mean, they don't even sleep properly because they're meditating. Oh, when will I get up in the morning? When will I meet Krishna again? That eagerness for Krishna is there. So it's like totally they're focused on Krishna, Krishna, Krishna throughout. It's in their, I mean, like at birth itself, they are fully Krishna conscious. Okay, so they are pure devotees. Like they have instant love for Krishna. It's not artificial love. That love is inbuilt for them. See, because we all don't have that love for Krishna, right? Actually, we all have love for Krishna, but now it is dormant. It is in that sleeping mode. It is covered with all the impurities. That's why we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, so that we can remove the impurities. So the more we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, the more the impurities will come out. Okay, and then it becomes clear, and then your dormant love for Krishna will awaken. When all the impurities are gone, slowly, by the mercy of Krishna and by the chanting effect, then that love for Krishna will start awakening slowly. But for the Vrajavasis and all the Gopas and the Gopis, that is instant for them. Okay, they have love for Krishna. That's why they feel separation from Krishna, and they enjoy the company of Krishna so much. Okay, see. See, perform devotional service by thinking exclusively of Krishna. So everything they do, devotional service, thinking exclusively of Krishna. Pure devotional service means what? Fix mind upon me. Okay, your mind should always be on Krishna. See, now our mind, is our mind on Krishna now? Our mind will be on all material things, what I should eat, what I should do at my job place, what I should do at home, whether I've prepared batter, whether I have pressed the clothes, whether I have swept the house, whether I have done this. Our mind is always on that. But it's not never on Krishna, right? So that's what they're saying. Pure devotees, their mind is fixed upon Krishna. Like how our mind is on all material activities, pure devotees, their mind is on Krishna always. Okay, and engage all your intelligence in me. So mind and intelligence should be engaged on me, Krishna is saying. Okay, so generally intelligence guides the mind, right? So that's why he's saying mind and intelligence you should put on me. Then what will happen? Benefit, you will live in me always without a doubt. So when you engage your mind, means you are constantly thinking of Krishna. Where is the focus? It's always on Krishna. So if your mind is always in Krishna, you're thinking that, oh, I should do this for Krishna. I should cook for Krishna. I should mop the house for Krishna. Or I should, like, do this job for Krishna. So like that, you're thinking everything for Krishna. So if you're always thinking of Krishna, obviously at the time of death, you will think of Krishna. Right? So obviously that means that you will go back to Krishna. Okay? So that is the first thing, Ananya Bhakti. Next, second stage they are talking about 12.9. Atta Chittam. Second stage is what? It's not written here. Huh? Once again. अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो माम् इच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, here, my dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. So, first stage is what? Ananya Bhakti. We saw in 12.8, right? So, now Krishna is saying, okay, if your mind and intelligence you're not able to fix upon me always, next, or what can you do? He's saying do sadhana or practice, right? See, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Means he's doing what we all are doing, sadhana bhakti, right? So that is what he's saying. So we don't have spontaneous love for Krishna. So now we have to awaken that love. How we can do? By following regulative principles. So that second stage, see, Krishna is so merciful. He's not saying that if you don't have love for me, then go to hell. I can't do anything. If you don't love me, then go. I'll leave you. No, he's not saying that. He's saying that he's showing he's so merciful, he's so compassionate, he's showing us alternatives. See, okay, fine, if you're not having direct love for me, spontaneous love for me, that's okay. Now, at least you try to awaken that love by doing sadhana bhakti. Okay, by following some rules and regulations for some regulative principles, by following um, through bhakti yoga, you do that. Okay, so by doing that, slowly you will develop a desire to attain me. Okay, so let's see. There are two processes of bhakti yoga. The first for one who is attached to Krishna by transcendental love. That is what the first one we saw, right? 12.8. So direct love they have. And the other for one who is not transcendently attached to the Lord. See, we all are not transcendently attached to the Lord like the Brajavasis, right? So for us, what has to be followed? Prescribed rules and regulations to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment for Krishna. So we have to get that love, we have to follow some rules and regulations. Means sadhana bhakti or bhakti yoga we have to do. Okay, to get that to get to that stage of attachment to Krishna. So bhakti yoga is the purification of senses. So why do we do bhakti yoga? So we are engaging the senses. Earlier our senses were engaged in all material activities, but now when we are starting bhakti yoga, our senses are used in the engagement of serving Krishna, because the eyes are used for seeing Krishna, the ears are used for hearing about Krishna Katha, the tongue is used for talking, eating Krishna Prasadam and talking about Krishna. So everything is used for service of Krishna. So Bhakti Yoga is the purification of senses. Senses are always impure, engaged in sense gratification with no love for the Lord. So in the purified stage, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. Okay, that stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service. This love of God is in a dormant state in everyone's heart. It has to be revived by becoming free from the contamination of material association. The regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga should be practiced under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. So here we should do Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of a spiritual master. So one should rise early in the morning, take bath, enter the temple, and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. See, generally a devotee who is being practicing, he should get up in the Brahma Muhurta. They should get up at 3:30 at least, and because they have to they take their bath and they have to do their Mangalarti by starting at 4:30, right? So they have to attend the Mangalarti, and after the Mangalarti is over at say 5:15, we have to start our chanting. So chanting generally takes about 2 hours, right? And then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. Okay, so all these activities have to be done daily. So if all of you are interested, actually, I think we posted the link also. You can join for the morning Mangalarti if anybody is interested. So, okay, it starts at 4:30 and it ends at 5:15. Okay, you can get the blessings of the deities of ISKCON Mangaluru. Okay, I forgot to mention one point regarding the shloka recitation you were asking. I don't know how many of you read the messages on the group. Please make it a habit to read the messages in your group, in that Jan 1 group. In that 6 p.m. group, right? Whichever group you're there, please read the messages. I don't know how many of you have read. I've posted the sloka recitation in that group. Who are devotees who are interested can just join that group. Who are interested in sloka recitation, I sent a link 2 days back. I think I've sent. So please, if you are interested, I think it's there from morning 9:15 to 10:15. You can click on that link and you can join for sloka recitation. Okay. And actually, if you all tell me at what particular time you are interested in sloka recitation, that also, I think one is there at 11 o'clock and one is there at 6 o'clock, one is there at 7 o'clock, I think. One is there at 9:15. So, if you are interested, I can give you the link of that particular timings. Okay, you can just let me know. Okay. So one should rise in the morning. Okay, all this is done. So one should constantly hear the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. Okay, so what is follow regulative principles in sadhana bhakti? See, first is what? If one cannot perform devotional service, see, devotional service means pure bhakti, right? First stage, if it is not possible, then what you have to do? Then follow the regulative principles of bhakti yoga. That is, you follow the rules and regulations. You do chanting, reading, hearing, Mangalarti, you attend. All that you have to do. Get up in the morning and do all that. Okay, those who have not developed attachment for Krishna, how to achieve that stage of pure love? Practice devotional service with present senses. That is bhakti yoga, right? Do sadhana bhakti. They're saying how to follow regulations of devotional service, guidance of guru, and qualifications to practice. Anyone can practice. Anybody can do bhakti yoga. It is not that this person can do, this person can do. No, anybody can do. Guarantee of success. There is surety of love of Godhead. Okay, so this first is like spontaneous love we don't have, right? Pure devotional service we don't have. Then to awaken that natural love, we have to do sadhana bhakti. Okay, this is what we have to do. So Krishna is so merciful. He says in the next stage, okay, you can't even do this, then what? He will tell in the next shloka. Okay, if you're not able to follow the regulative principles, then next what? See, 12.10. Okay, this is the third stage he's saying now. What if you can't? First is pure devotional service, second is sadhana bhakti, then third is like he'll say, work for me. Okay, abhyase api asammartosi mat karma paramo bhava mat artham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. If you cannot practice the regulations of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me you will come to the perfect stage. So he's saying, devote your time specifically working for me. Like here in the picture, you can see that the person he's helping, he's a mason, right? He's building a temple for Krishna, right? So he's working for Krishna. So Krishna is telling, do some activity specifically for me. Like if Janmashtami is coming, help organize the pandal or decorate the deities or put the chairs or whatever. I mean, like decorate the deities, make garlands or whatever. Just or clean the temple, something like that. Just work for me, Krishna said. Do book distribution, prasadam distribution, whatever is possible, right? So just work for me. Then you will come to the perfect stage, he's saying. See, first stage is what? Perform devotional service, pure devotional service. If that is not possible, what is Krishna saying? Follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, rules and regulations. If that is also not possible, what Krishna is saying? Work for Krishna. Okay. So how to perform work for Krishna? See, sympathetic to the propagation of Krishna consciousness movement. So, how can you help work for Krishna? Because in Krishna consciousness, also, I mean, like we have to build temples. So, we need what do we need for that? We need land for that. We need capital, organization. We need labor, everything. For all this, what money is? I mean, like either you can give money or you can just, I mean, like. Give the land by itself, or because a temple needs land, right? You can even either give land or you can provide labor, or I mean, like whatever, I mean, like you can help in. So if you're not able to provide all these, help in, you can help build a temple, help in publication. Okay, somehow or the other you can just get involved in any Krishna conscious activities, because there are many books in that are being published, so you can help in publication. And we need temples also, right, to for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, so you can help build a temple. So all these things you can help. See, when if one cannot sacrifice results of his activities, at least sacrifice some percentage of his results. Like you can at least, you can, if you're not able to give all, I mean, like land or labor or all these, so you can give us money, direct money also. Okay, you can sacrifice some percentage of his results. Okay, whatever he's what yeah, indirectly it's money, so you can give money if you're not able to provide. See, some people, they give bags of rice or bags of dal, like that. So if you're not able to give something like that, you can even, at least you don't have the time to buy all those and do all those, so you can directly give money. Okay, so somehow just work for Krishna. Krishna is saying, so Krishna is being very merciful. He's not telling go wherever you want, I don't care about you. He's being so merciful. He's saying, if not this, do this. If not this, you do this, then you'll come to me. Okay, so work for Krishna. And then the next level, in the same thing, my dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. Okay, so 12.11. Now Krishna is telling the next stage. Okay, if you're not able to even work for me, okay, because of some reason, maybe your family members are not allowing you, or because you have some health condition, you are not able to go to the temple and do some service outside. So then what? Okay, Krishna is saying this. Okay, ataitat api ashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So now what is Krishna saying? See, now you're not able to directly work for me because maybe your wife is not allowing, is not favorable, or your husband is not favorable, or your parents are not favorable, or because of some health issues, also, whatever be the reason, you're not able to do. Then what you do, you give up all their results. Suppose you're doing some job, you give that results of that work, if you're doing some charity, right, give the results. See, like it's like this. See, you're doing a job and you get some income. So don't you, I mean, like, you use that income, part of it you give it for Krishna conscious activities. Okay, so you're not, see, in the previous shloka is you're totally working, engaging yourself for Krishna. Now, here you're not engaging in Krishna. You're doing any normal activity, any normal work you're doing. See, you're just doing your job, or you're doing some sacrifice or charity or whatever. So that is also good. Like if you're doing some charity, it is also good because it will purify you. Once you get purified, you get a chance to take up Krishna consciousness, right? So that is why Krishna is saying, if you're not directly able to work for me, at least give the results of your work to me. Okay, don't think that, okay, I'm doing this job, the whole money I should use only for my sense gratification. Okay, so but out of that, give some of the results to Krishna. Okay, because by doing that, slowly you'll get purified. In a sense, like if you want to do some charity, do it. I mean, like even if you do it normally without Krishna conscious, also you will get purified. See, some many people they do this annadana, and helping the old age people or hospitalized people. They donate for educational institutions. So by giving that, it is like good. You get purified, so you get pious credit, right? You get purification, purified. So the more you do such activities, but this is not you're not doing it for Krishna. Be it normally you're doing. It's like a pious activity, but it is purifying you slowly so that you can take up, you can come onto the path of devotional service. So that later, because of your purification, you can come into devotional service. Okay. Okay, if one is unable to directly involve in Krishna karma, right? See, you're not able to directly work for Krishna due to society, family, religion, or other obstructions. You may sacrifice the accumulated result of his activities to do some good cause. See, whatever you can use all your activities to do some good cause, which are given in the Vedas, karma kandi activities. Anything you can do good, something that is good. Like you can donate for the old age people or hospital or educational institutions or whatever, right? But for a good cause. Such procedures are described in the Vedic rules. If one is not interested in Krishna consciousness, giving one's hard earned money as charity to hospitals or social institutions is recommended, as this act of philanthropy too is sure to purify his mind gradually and enable him to undertake Krishna consciousness. See, when you do such acts of goodness, it's like you are getting purified, right? Because you're doing good activities, your heart is getting purified, because of which there is a chance that you will understand Krishna consciousness. Even social service, community service, national service, sacrifice one's country, etc., someday they will reach. See, people who do all these social service, community, they are also they're also doing good activities. So such people, one day they will come to the pure stage of devotional service, because slowly their heart is getting purified, cleansed by doing good activities. So finally, one day they will come to this stage of pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita, if one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will gradually come to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by the sacrificial method. See, when we do such charities, we are not doing it for Krishna, right? But though we are not doing it for Krishna, but gradually, because we get purified, we will try to understand that Krishna is the supreme cause by sacrificial method. Okay, the first is perform devotional service. If you can't do that, then sadhana bhakti, rules and regulations. That is also not possible. Work for Krishna, directly work for Krishna. If that is also not possible, then what you do, try to give up the results of your work and be self situated. Okay, reasons why one may be unable to sympathize for KC acts can be social. See, sometimes, that's what he's saying. Sometimes we cannot directly work for Krishna because of our family members, right? Whatever be, there'll be some impediments, right? That's what they're saying here. So we may not go to the temple, we can't do any temple activity, right? So in such cases, what? Hence, giving up results of work. So that's why you just try to give up the results of your work. Recommendation: sacrifice the accumulated results to some good cause. So you donate whatever you have earned or whatever you have done for a good cause, like hospitals, Annadana, old age, educational institutions. For some good cause, you can do. How that helps? So by doing that, what happens? One gradually elevate to the state of knowledge. So you get purified. Okay, once you do such pious activities, you get purified, and you get to the. Once you're purified, knowledge is revealed. Okay, practical examples: social service, we can do community service, so charity to hospitals, all these we can do. What happens when you do? Well, what is the result? Purify the mind, and one can gradually understand Krishna consciousness. Okay, so 12.12. If Shreyo hi gnanam abhya asaj gnana dhyanam vishishyate dhyanaat karma phalatyagas tyagat shantir anantaram. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits. So this is very important, this shloka. I mean, not important in the sense like this is like a gradual process they are telling, right? The direct process is, we said that it is pure devotional service. Now this is like a gradual step by step process. Okay. So if you cannot, uh, okay. See, two kinds of devotional service are there. So here, Krishna is giving different steps, like gradual steps, like how you can come to finally to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, he says compares two different steps. One is practice, that is sadhana, right? By way of regulative principles, right? And then the one is way of attachment and love of Godhead, that is direct, right? The pure devotional service. Okay, fix your mind on Krishna. That is the first pure devotional. And then sadhana bhakti. Then work for Krishna. Then giving up the results of your work. Right? Okay, so here, what Krishna is saying here is, what do you say? Practice means by sadhana. If see, first is practice, right? Practice means what? Abhyasa means sadhana bhakti. So by following rules and following daily discipline, that is practice or sadhana bhakti. Next stage is what? Knowledge or gnana. Here you can see, right, cultivation of knowledge in red. Okay, so understanding in that you understand that you are not this body, you are the soul. So it is better than sadhana. Daily abhyasa. If you are not able to do that, this is better, cultivating the knowledge. And otherwise, what? Knowledge will lead to meditation. So meditation means what? Dhyana, the deep contemplation on the supreme. So now you are focused, just focused more than just theoretical knowledge. Earlier, cultivation of knowledge means what? You just had theoretical knowledge. Now you are trying to meditate on the supreme. Okay, so you are more focused, more than knowledge, you are focused on the supreme. Okay, and then this then one can gradually understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, then from meditation, better than meditation is what? Renunciation of fruits. See, renunciation of fruits is better than meditation. So, renunciation of fruits means what? Karma phala tyaga means letting go of the attachment to results. So, what should one do? One should perform prescribed duties that are mentioned in the Vedas, but one should give the result. See why renunciation of fruits is mentioned as better than meditation. Okay. See, although Karma Yoga is the lowest on the yoga ladder, Karma says that it is better than meditation because it is more practical and it does not disturb the mind. See, why renunciation is better is, see, it is easy for us. See, for us to do some sacrifice or do some charity or to give our money for a good cause is very easy for us, right? Though it is our hard-earned money, rather than doing all this Ashtanga yoga, this meditation, this Jnana yoga, this is more practical for us, right? To do by karma yoga, you just give it for some social charity or you give for some hospital or for some anadana. You'll accumulate pious credit because of which you get pure and you will maintain your peace also, right? And then slowly there is a possibility that you can come to Krishna consciousness. So that is why they are saying this renunciation of fruits is the best, is better than meditation. Okay. So because you get peace, I mean, it's so difficult for us to practice all this meditation and jnana and everything, right? So that's why renunciation of fruits is mentioned better than meditation. Okay, so this is the progressive path. See, what is the direct path they are talking about? See, topmost direct is your mind is always fixed on Krishna. That is the pure devotional. The Brajavasis, right? They are totally, their mind is always on Krishna. So, result is you will live in relationship with Krishna. And next is 12.9 sadhana bhakti. If you don't have direct love for Krishna, you try to awaken that love by following regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. Okay, develops a desire to attain Krishna. Next, if not that is not possible, you work for Krishna. Okay, then you will come to the stage of devotional service, working directly for Krishna. If that is also not possible, then you have to do renunciation of your results. Right? Only your results you have to renounce. But when you renounce the results, what will happen? You get purified and you get the required jnana, knowledge. With that knowledge, you will start meditating. See, it's like this. See, when you renounce the fruits, means what? You do your duty, but you're not attached to the result. So there is less greed, less fear, less ego, and your heart becomes lighter, right? So you're not worried. So then what happens? You are peaceful. Okay, you're not worried about the result. What will I get? So that's where the mind becomes calm. And when the mind in that peaceful stage, you begin to understand knowledge, that is jnana, cultivation of knowledge, right? So you understand that you're not this body, I'm spiritual. Then after with that knowledge, you can focus deeply, means you come to meditation stage. So with that knowledge, you can you begin to meditate on the supreme. Okay, when you meditate on the supreme, gradually you will get a realization. The meditation, it matures into realization. Okay, you try to understand, you perceive the super soul. Okay, then the last stage is devotion, that is bhakti. And finally, realization, it blossoms into love for Krishna. Okay, when that person comes in contact with a devotee, then he understands that Krishna is a person, and then he starts practicing devotional service, and then he starts, he starts doing loving devotional service. So that is a gradual process. Okay, the direct is when your mind is totally fixed. We all should come to that stage while whatever activity we are doing, our mind should be on Krishna. But now our mind is on material things. That we should change by doing sadhana bhakti. Gradually, we should make come to a point that we remember Krishna in whatever activity we are doing. Whether we are brushing our teeth, we are bathing, or we are cleaning the house, or mopping the house, or washing the dishes, or or doing our job, whatever we are doing, or cooking for Krishna, whatever, right? We have to remember Krishna. That should be our goal. Okay, the same thing is mentioned here. And now these are the qualities that endear one to Krishna. This is actually very readable actually. I'll just try to read this thing. The Lord is describing the transcendental qualities of a pure devotee. He is never disturbed in any circumstances, never envious of anyone. Actually, it is, if you read, it is understandable. If anybody finds that difficult, please stop me so that I can explain. Okay, otherwise I'll just read. Has no enemies, thinks the enemy has become one due to his past misdeeds, prefers suffering to protesting. Okay, so he has no enemies, but if anybody has become his enemy, he thinks he is the, I mean, like he never thinks, he never makes any enemies. But if any person thinks him to be the enemy, he thinks that, oh, maybe because I've done something in my past karma, past janma, that is coming back to me, and he never retaliates. He accepts it. He prefers to suffer to protesting. Okay, so that karma will go away. Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Tenu kampam susamekshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks the suffering he has got is much less than deserved. See, whenever a devotee gets distressed, he or he's in a difficult situation, he does not lament. Like we people think, oh Krishna, I'm doing so much bhakti, why are you giving me so much difficulties? That is what we people say. But a devotee does not take it like that. A devotee thinks it is the Lord's mercy upon him. And how does he think? See, maybe Krishna, my hand was supposed to be cut, but you have just made a small cutting on my finger. So he thinks that suffering is very much minimized. It should have been 100%, but that suffering got reduced because we are practicing Krishna consciousness. That suffering got reduced to 10%. From 100% suffering, it has come to 10%. Okay, that is the advantage. Okay, so he thinks that, oh Krishna, you're so merciful that 100% suffering, you have brought it to 10%. And he feels the Lord's mercy is on him. Okay, so thinking so, he's always calm, quiet, and patient, equipoised, even in distress. A devotee is always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmama does not attach much importance to the pains and troubles pertaining to the body. So the devotee, he understands that this material body will certainly give him pain. So he does not bother about the pains of the body. Like our own Guru Maharaj, Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he is like, his body is like 80% of his body is practically not working, but still he's so enthusiastic in preaching. In fact, he does much more preaching than earlier. In fact, he does not bother. He understands that, okay, definitely my body is giving me pain, but that pain he overcomes by doing these spiritual activities. So he says that when I'm preaching, I forget my bodily pain. Okay, the pure devotees, they overcome the pains of the body because they are spiritually involved. Okay, so not being body conscious does not have, he does not have false ego. He does not think that I'm the controller, I'm the maintainer. He knows that he's a servant of Krishna and he uses everything in the service of Krishna, satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of the Supreme Lord, not endeavoring too much to achieve something with great difficulty. So he does not whatever comes by his way. So his main goal is like he wants to practice Krishna consciousness. So that's why he just works only 9 to 5. Okay, so he does not work like a donkey, double shift and extra hours, like 9 to 9 or 10 o'clock or like that. He doesn't work. He does not put so much effort into all these activities. Just simple he earns money just to maintain, keep his body and soul together, and he does not endeavor. I mean, like honest way, whatever honestly, whatever comes, he's satisfied with that, and he does not, because his main focus is on Krishna conscious activity. He wants to practice devotional service. So that's why he does not waste time on material activities. So much he practices simple living, high thinking. Okay, so not endeavoring much to achieve something with great difficulty. He is always joyful. Whatever he has little, he's happy with that. A perfect mystic, faithfully, like nowadays, even devotees, I mean, like they go to the extent that they want to show off, oh, I have a big house. I'm going to use this house for, I mean, this is just a name for Krishna conscious propagation. I'll be doing the Bhakti Vriksha, everything they say. But indirectly, they want to show off that they have a big house, they have all nice amenities, everything they want to show. So that should not be the thing. If you are really a Krishna conscious devotee, just try to minimize your demands. Okay, you don't need a luxurious house. Okay, just maintain a house. I mean, even in a small house, you can practice, you can do Bhakti Vriksha, everything. See, if you have a big house, again, you have to maintain that house. You have that is like double work again, right? So try to, Prabhupada always says that's why you have try to maintain a simple living, high thinking. Okay, don't go to show off others, right? Your main focus should be Krishna consciousness. That should be the thing. Let others think whatever they want, because the people will always be thinking, even if you do good, they will think good or bad. Even if you do bad, they will think good or bad. So people are always like, whatever you do, they are just complaining. Okay, so don't worry about themselves. Your focus should be only on whether my Krishna consciousness, am I doing that sincerely or not? That is very important. Okay, don't think that if somebody comes and says, oh, Prabhuji or Mataji, you don't still have a own house? Oh, you still don't have a car? You don't have this? You don't have that? Don't bother. As long as you are happy in your Krishna consciousness, don't worry. Whatever is required will be given by Krishna. Whatever is needed for your Krishna consciousness, that will be given by Krishna. So don't worry about others people's comments. Be even if they are devotees or whatever. Okay, just try to do a Krishna consciousness sincerely, and whatever is required, Krishna will give you. Okay, that is the thing. The determined eye approach with senses perfectly controlled. These rare qualities are developed by following the regulative principles of devotional services. Mind and intelligence are fixed, eternal, supreme Lord. So these are the qualities. Okay, he is non-envious, he's kind to everyone, even to his enemy. He's santushta, he's satisfied with whatever he has. Nirmamo, no sense of proprietorship. See, even though they some devotees, they are so pure that even the house that they have constructed, they say that we are not the owner of this house. Krishna is the owner of this house. We are the guardians of this house, and they name that house also under the name of Krishna. They say Radha Madan Mohan or whatever. I mean, like some people they name their houses under Guru Ashray. They say, right? They put that name. So they say that we are just guardians of this house. We are not the owners. Krishna or Guru, they are the owners of this house. Okay, and they use their whole house in the service of Krishna. Dhrida Nishya, they have firm faith in devotional service. Okay, tolerant, they're never disturbed by external circumstances. And yata atma, they're self-controlled because completely fixed on the instructions of the spiritual master. Mai arpita, manu buddhir. So their whole intelligence is engaged in doing devotional service for the practice of Krishna consciousness. Okay, see now, thought process of a devotee, we already discussed, right? In a distressful, when a devotee is in a distressed condition, what does he think? What is the thought process? He thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. What is the Lord's mercy? He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I'm suffering now. By Lord's mercy, I'm not getting all the punishment I am due. So I should have actually got 100%, but now because I'm practicing Krishna consciousness, I'm just getting 10%. That 10% also we are not able to take it, and then we complain to Krishna. Okay. He thinks the person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds, so it is better to suffer than to protest. So, what is the result of thinking this way? He is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distressful conditions. nor is he envious of anyone disturbed by their behavior. Okay, he becomes eligible for liberation. So such a person, if you think this way, like are calm, and you just do you're more busy in your Krishna conscious activities. You don't pay importance to all these things, and that's why you become eligible for liberation. You go back to Goloka. 12.15. He for whom no doubt is put into difficulty, and who see all these are like the further symptoms of a devotee, a pure devotee. Like say, never cares, causes distress to others. See, not get affected by others. Because devotee is always engrossed in crazy, material circumstances cannot move him, not disturbed by anyone. Such a stage is obtained by Lord's grace. See, for example, if you can see Prahlad Maharaj, he was not affected by any material circumstances. Like made to stand by the elephants. He was put in a pit of snakes, and he was thrown from a top of a mountain, and he was thrown into a ocean. Okay, so his head was made to cut with a sword, but nothing, all of these material circumstances did not disturb him. He was even, see, if you see in the PPT, he was put into fire also. But still, he is not affected. So none of the material circumstances, they get affected, because they're so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness by Krishna's mercy that they're not affected by the material things at all. They are so peaceful that you can see Prahlad Maharaj, right? Even see people like us, they immediately will jump, right? We won't even enter that fire. And you can see Prahlad Maharaj is so peaceful. His mind focused on Krishna. He's so peaceful in that fire also. They are, oblivious of all these material circumstances. They're not disturbed. Okay, such a stage is obtained by Krishna's mercy and does not affect others. And other people are also not affected by him. See, no one is put into anxiety, difficulty, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee, because he's very kind to everybody. See, even when his own father, Hiranyakashipu, was putting him into all these, adverse conditions he was putting, he didn't even say one word against his father. What kind of a father you are? How are you treating your son? How can you do this? He never said anything like that. He is always kind to anybody, everybody. He is kind. He never puts anybody into anxiety or difficulty. Such is a devotee. He is kind to everybody. Okay, so next we'll see the symptoms. See, some more symptoms. A devotee receives the money that he gets through Lord's grace without hesitation, but does not over endeavor for it. So he does not go for he's not greedy for more money. So whatever he does from 9 to 5, that minimum he does, whatever through the Lord's grace. He does not endeavor saying that, oh, if I work hard, maybe I will get more money. No, he's like satisfied with what minimum by Lord's grace, how much ever he's getting through his honest service. He will just 9 to 5, he will work. That's all. He does not try to work extra money. Oh, if I work sometime extra, I will get more money. He does not sacrifice his time for Krishna consciousness. Right? He wants to use whatever time is there, more time in Krishna consciousness, not for material endeavors. And he bathes twice a day, rises early in the morning for devotional service, hence clean from inside and outside. A devotee is an expert in all activities and has full faith in all authoritative scriptures. A devotee is unbiased above all pains and designations. Okay, as body is also a designation, he is free from bodily pains and sufferings. They no longer feel the bodily pains and pleasures. Okay, they're above all that, because their focus is always on serving Krishna. Never endeavors for anything against the principles of devotional service. Will not venture into any activity that does not advance him in devotional service. So, if anything is against devotional service, he will not do that activity. He will make all effort to build a temple for the Lord. See, he will use his money to build the temple for the Lord, but he will not use it for his personal building of the house or for his own house construction. He will not use it. He will use the money that he has to build the temple for the Lord. Okay, so here we see he is unaffected by material emotions. He neither rejoices nor grieves over material loss. Okay, means what? He does not get intoxicated by gain. Like if he gets some profit, he's not like Yahoo, he does not jump. Or if he gets some loss, he's not sad or something. Okay, whatever. See, success, it does not make him arrogant, and failure, it does not make him sad. Okay, because his focus is on Krishna conscious activities, not on loss or profit. Okay, and next is he neither laments nor desires, not anxious to get a son or disciple, not laments not getting them. See, it means if something comes, he uses it in the service of Krishna. If something goes, he does not lament. He lets go. Lets it go like that. He's not bothered. He does not cry, oh, so much loss, this is gone, that is stolen. No, he just lets go. Okay, and if something comes, he uses it in the service of Krishna. And transcendental in face of all kinds of auspicious, inauspicious, and sinful acts. See, means ordinary people, they think that this is lucky, this is unlucky, this is good for me, this is bad for me. But the devotee thinks only one thing: if it helps me serve Krishna, it is good. Next, see, if it challenges me, but it brings me closer to Krishna, that is also good. So he is prepared to accept all kinds of risk for Lord's satisfaction. So nothing is an impediment in the discharge of devotional service. See, for instance, he has to go and do some service in the morning at the time of Mangalarti. So maybe he has to do, and it is December now. He has to do cold water bath. So he will still take cold water bath. It's not that, oh, it is so freezing cold, December, Jan, how will I know? He will take all kinds of risk. He will take that cold water bath, he will go. So nothing is an impediment, nothing should be an impediment for him in the service of Krishna. Whatever risk is there, he is ready to take that risk. But still, he will do that devotional service. Okay? So Bhaktiman means a devotee, the most essential quality from which all others. Bhaktiman means that is the essential qualities. Okay, the most essential quality from which all other qualities appear. Okay, next, a devotee is always free from all bad association, transcendental to artificial fame and infamy, distress and happiness, speaks of nothing but Krishna. See, if he opens his mouth, some people they say mauna, right? Mauna vrata means for a devotee is not just being silent. It means that not unnecessary, he does not talk about material things. That is mauna, right? It means that we have to talk only about Krishna, right? That is talking. Otherwise, that is mauna. If you are talking material things, that is mauna. You should not talk material things. So, a devotee is happy in all conditions with regard to food, residence, etc. He is ever satisfied. Underneath a tree or a very palatial building, do not mind. He is attracted to neither. See, for a devotee, for him, either the staying under a tree is the same as staying in a very big palatial building. For him, because he's not attracted to outside things, bodily things or something, he does not give importance. Okay, so he is fixed in his determination and knowledge. So he is steady. A devotee does not extraneously endeavor to acquire this qualification, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. See, all these qualities, he does not artificially do something to get these qualities. By naturally doing devotional service, all these qualities come in him naturally. Okay, so these are the qualities. Okay, so we have all seen now. Mauni, all that, Santushta, Sthiramatir, Bhaktiman. Okay, so he's unaffected, we saw right in the previous shloka, by material emotions. And this is a summary of all the qualities which you can later see. Okay, the same thing of the previous shlokas, 13 to 19 shloka. Okay, this is a summary. And this is the 20th shloka. 1 second. Yeah. To the question, who is better? Now, last question is the 20th shloka is Krishna is concluding which is better, impersonal or personal is better. Okay. So, who is better? So, one engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman or who is engaged in the personal service of the Lord. The Lord replied to Arjuna so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service is not only better but perfect in the process of spiritual realization. Through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in transcendental service of the Lord. The impersonal conception of the supreme absolute truth is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self realization. Okay, so the Krishna is finally summarizing that the personal form is always the best. Worshipping Krishna as the supreme personality of good Godhead by devotional service is the best process. Okay, see, they follow this imperishable path of devotional service, make Krishna as the supreme goal of their life, completely engage themselves with faith. Okay, so that's it. With this, we complete 12th chapter. So, devotees, please let me know